Donald Trump's pick to run the Defense Department, the former Fox News anchor Pete Hegseth, is in some pretty hot water after CNN aired an interview from Hegseth back in 2016 where Hegseth was shit-talking Donald Trump.
It's typical Trump. All bluster, very little substance. He talks a tough game, but then when pressed on it, he's an armchair tough guy. I hate to say it, but this is a guy who said that John McCain is not a war hero, yet he sought his own 5 military deferments.
There you go. There's another Republican who thought Donald Trump was just the worst. Reminds me of his VP pick, Vance, who called him the next Hitler, America's Hitler, and then said, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll be your VP." These spineless, scummy Republicans. They just have no principles, and they will go wherever the power is. So for Hegseth, his support was already failing. I mean, there was an interview with Lindsey Graham, Donald Trump's biggest bootlicker, in the Senate today, and Lindsey Graham did not sound confident at all.
Some of these articles are very disturbing. He, obviously has a chance to defend himself here, but some of this stuff is going to be difficult. Time will tell. I like Pete. I've known him for a very, very long time.
So you got Lindsey Graham, right, casting doubt on Hegseth, and then you've got the clip of Hegseth shit talking Donald Trump. I have no idea how this is going to end up. I have no idea if Donald Trump is going to say, "Screw this guy, I'll bring in somebody else," or if he's just going to go the Vance route and just say, whatever, just as long as I get the job done. Now, Susan Collins, the other Republican senator from Maine who spoke to the press today, called for there to be an open hearing, which is not what Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump want. For the love of God, that is not how Donald Trump wants to start his second term, because we know that the allegations against Hegseth, that he was drunk on the job from 2013 to 2016, that he sexually assaulted women at this during his tenure at the Concerned Veterans for America. He was running that organization, ended up leaving that organization after 3 years because a number of issues. He also paid a woman in 2017 to stay quiet about a sexual assault encounter with her in 2017 at a Republican conference. Paid her to be quiet so that she would not cost him his Fox News job. These are just the things we know about, right? And we, in our heart of hearts, I think we know that people who behave like that, it's not just a one-off thing, right? So if Hegseth wants there to be an open hearing where Democratic senators who, remember, just lost the Senate, lost the White House, they are going to be foaming at the mouth to get an opportunity to make Hegseth look like the monster that he sounds like he is. That is something they do not want. So it's looking to me like the Hegseth nomination could derail at any moment. But we're also dealing with Donald Trump here, who his vice president said that he was America's next Hitler. So I have no idea what's going to happen, with Hegseth. But what I do know is if this does, go to a hearing, I'm definitely going to be broadcasting it. So subscribe if you haven't already, of course. But that hearing will be a disaster for both Hegseth and Donald Trump. The guy's got a long history of being a monster towards women. It's going to remind America that the monster in the White House is terrible for women. And there's even new reports today that the people who are coming out defending Hegseth and his behavior at the CVA, the Concerned Veterans for America, over the 3 years that he worked there before he left, before he resigned, they say that didn't happen. Nothing like that happened. He didn't assault anyone. He wasn't drunk on the job. He didn't misallocate funds. It didn't happen. Interestingly, there's 2 guys who are coming forward and saying that none of this happened with Hegseth. One of them is choosing to remain anonymous. The other guy is Sean Parnell, who dropped out of a race for a seat in Pennsylvania because of abuse allegations from his wife. Abused him, says that he abused her and hurt their kids. So, monsters. You had a monster in the White House picking monsters to be his cabinet secretaries, and they have monsters defending them. That's the Republican chain now with Donald Trump and his cabinet. Crazy times we're living in.